sticking on in the SEC East, let's kick it on down next to Lexington, where defensive coordinator. Hey, we're going on a defensive coordinator spiel here, but Brad White, the Wildcat coordinator, one of the more underrated coordinators in the entire SEC, met with the media, and one of the biggest things there for Kentucky, they've got to find pass rush. Where's that going to come? Obviously with Jamon Davis, first round pick. Before that, it was Josh Allen. I mean, Kentucky just seems to find these guys and develop them. And, J.J. Weaver looks like maybe the next one. But, of course, he got hurt against Florida. They're anticipating that he's ready to go this season. But how realistic is it, a guy coming off ACL to be at 100%? We'll see. So how does Kentucky manufacture this pass rush? That's one of the biggest question marks with the Kentucky Wildcats heading into the season. That's something Brad White discussed. And he also gave an update here on J.J. Weaver.
Anything new to report on the pass rush?
Nothing new. Again, I've been pleasantly pleased with Jordan Wright. I think he's ready to take the next step, and we're going to need him to as a rusher. He's really, really focused hard on that. But it can't be just one guy. It can't be two guys, with Pascal. It's got to be a whole bunch of guys that get it, and they've got to rush as a group, and especially when it's just four-man rush, and you play four-man rush in coverage. They've got to understand what the guy next to them is doing. And they don't just service themselves, they have to service that entire group, and we're getting better, but as we get closer to game time, we've got to get narrowed down to who those four guys are, those primary four in nickel, so they can get a lot of reps together. And so far, we've just been repping a lot of different combos to try to figure out who's the best. But we'll start over these next 2 weeks really starting to tighten out who that group's going to be.
JJ has to get back to Helm first and foremost, but whenever he does get back to a spot where he can handle the majority of the snaps, do you kind of view Jordan Wright strictly as a jack, or could he play that other outside line?
No, Jordan can play either. Obviously, we're going to be really judicious, with JJ bringing him back. And the nice thing about Jordan is he's played both for his entire career. So, I'd anticipate at some point during the season that those two guys are on the field together. But at the same time, it's nice when if you talk about like having a starting pitching unit, right? And you can rotate those two and they come in fresh. And so we've definitely got options.
All right, so I talk about Jamin Davis and Josh Allen because maybe the next one could be Jordan Wright. I mean, he was at one point SEC Player of the Week last season in Kentucky's win over Mississippi State. Of course, that was the game. I believe they won 24-2, and that kept Mike Leach's scoring streak alive with his defense. Of course, that was later broken. But, so it's interesting. Brad White's hyping up this Jordan Wright. That's a name to watch. Could he be the next star Kentucky defender? I don't know, but the fact that Brad White's talking him up, you got to be that's one guy to watch here if you're a Kentucky Wildcat fan. And I like the fact that Brad White is not counting on one guy. We're all looking for the next Josh Allen. Well, hell, everybody is at every university, and there's not many like that guy. So it's unrealistic to ask a guy to get 18 sacks, whatever he had that his final season there, but maybe you can get that from 3 or 4 guys if you combine all their production, and that certainly seems like a more sound method and what Kentucky and Brad White is counting on this year from their unit. And last thing on Kentucky, I just thought this was fantastic. Brad White talking about the John Schlerman wall out there, of course, the late, great Kentucky offensive line coach that passed away last season in the middle of the year. Here's Brad White talking about what it means to see that John Schlerman wall there.
Can you tell me about this sign, the Schlerman sign, what that means to this group, and is it a constant reminder being right there? You guys see it all the time.
What an unbelievable tribute, to walk out today and to see that, and to know every time we walk into the stadium, whether it be for a scrimmage, a practice, a game, and you look at really what the model of what being a Kentucky football player, coach, alumni, you name it, he was all of that. And I think it's a great reminder, not just for the people that are in this program that were around him and knew Coach Schlarman, but for those that didn't. And, you know, Coach always said, you know, we talked about he was the great American, but he's really sort of the great Kentuckian. And everybody gets to see it when they come to Kroger Field now. And that's really, really moving for us. Like it was an emotional tribute.